Fort Wayne FC brought home their first 3 points in a victory on the road this Saturday night in Chattanooga against the Red Wolves. 45 seconds is all it took for Taig Healy to score his first goal of the season. And from there, it was a lot of red and yellow on the field. And I'm not talking the kits the players were wearing. I'm talking cards. Cards were flying in this match. We're going to get into that. We'll break down the match, and we'll talk about how important this road win really is to the future of Fort Wayne FC's season. But tonight, we've got that winning feeling on episode 50 of Fort Wayne Footy.
It's your weekly fix of Fort Wayne FC news, reactions, analysis, the stories that matter. We celebrate the game. We elevate the conversation. This is Fort Wayne Footy.
Well, hey, welcome back to a new episode of Fort Wayne Footy. I had a little teaser there on the screen, and I apologize. I was a little distracted during that intro. We're having trouble streaming to Facebook. I don't know what the issue is. So if you are out there, you're watching on YouTube and you have to watch on YouTube because you normally watch on Facebook, my apologies. I'll see if we can get this thing going as the show goes on. But to do that, I have to pass it to our co-host to talk a little bit. My name's Brian here as always. And tonight we're joined by Micah Middendorf and Dustin Diller. Guys, introduce yourselves. Tell us how you're doing tonight while I figure this Facebook stuff out.
Happy Victory Monday.
Seriously.
It's great to come on here after a win. Definitely in the way that they got the win, where it was one of those classic score early, then suffer well type of matches. So very proud of the boys. I thought they handled a classic, almost a Sunday league style play, handle it with maturity. And I'm proud to be a fan of the team right now.
Yeah, I think we waited, right? We kept waiting. When are we going to get our win? And we got it. And so it's fun to be able to say that we've got 3 points on the road. And so happy to talk about it, happy to break it down tonight. And I mean, I feel like a lot of times we've come on and we've just been a little bit like, oh, they'll get there. They're going to get there. And now we can say they got there. So, I mean, not there, but they got the win. So
there is relative, right?
Yes.
There is a win in the win column. There's a check mark in the win column. And so for me, 4 games into the season with 4 games on the road, they're getting there. Right. And so we're really excited about that, especially going into Chattanooga, that we've not seen games there, but we've heard Chattanooga is a tough place to go into. We heard it was going to be a physical battle, and it certainly was. And to see our team come off the field, there were a few cards in this game, right? But to see them come off the field as victors going into a place that's really hard to play, against a team that's really tough and really physical and hasn't lost the game yet this season. So, lots to talk about tonight, and we will get into that here in just a moment. Let's kick it to the folks that sponsor our show and allow us to do what we do. This episode of Fort Wayne Footy is brought to you by OmniSource, one of America's largest processors, distributors, and managers of scrap and secondary metals based right here in Fort Wayne. Check out their services at omnisource.com. Fort Wayne Footy is also brought to you by LaserX, the Midwest's largest laser tag and arcade. They specialize in birthday parties, corporate team building, youth groups, sports teams, and family entertainment. You can find them at laserxfw.com. That's laser with a Z. And if you get over there, be sure to tell them Fort Wayne Footy sent you. All right. Let's just hit some reminders of what's happening with our show here. Again, if you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate that. Many of you watch on Facebook on a regular basis. And so we just made a post over there Hopefully you'll join us over here. One way to keep in touch with us here at Fort Wayne Footy is by email, info@Fort Wayne Footy. Join us on Patreon over there at Fort Wayne Footy, and sign up for the Fort Wayne Footnotes, our weekly newsletter that goes out every Friday, sometimes Saturday when there's news that we're waiting on. But you can find that on our Facebook page. You can find it on our website at fortwaynefooty.com. Just scroll to the bottom. There's a sign up form there to jump on our weekly email list. We would love to see you there. And that's a great way to get all the Fort Wayne FC news and all the other news happening around Fort Wayne, especially with our new 260 soccer show that debuted last night, guys. I don't know if you had a chance to see that, but I was really excited about the 260 show with Amanda, Paul, and Todd hosting that one. So very, very excited about that. I want to go to our chat real quick before we get to our cheers and jeers. Paul says, congratulations, episode 50. That's pretty exciting. Sean from up there in Portland. Sean, how you doing? Thanks for watching tonight. Congratulations on the first win of the season against last year's number 2 team in the table. Yeah, that's something we don't often recall because we weren't part of it last season. So thanks for that reminder, Sean, and thanks for joining us tonight. Road Bike 42, Chattanooga calling it a lucky goal, but everyone knows it was all skill. 45 seconds in, you just got to be ready, lucky or not. You weren't ready for Taig Healy. Victory Monday, Jason says, and we like to score early on terrible grass for sure. You okay there, Dustin?
I'm good. We're good.
All right. I thought we had a host pass out on our show last night, so I don't want you choking and dying on us. So, all right. Okay, let's get into our cheers and jeers for the week. Micah, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I think I'm going to start off with the win, just cheering the group. They showed maturity despite many cautions and many tough tackles. I thought they handled it well. I think Keelan Barker called it a true professional win, and I would have to agree with it. Regardless of the conditions, whatever grass they were playing on, if you can call it grass, if you want to talk about the tactics that Chattanooga is known for, we clearly leaned into that. And we matched it tackle for tackle. So, we got the result. That's all that matters. We got 4 points out of 4 games on the road. I think we're set up to do really well once we get into this homestand coming up.
Speaking of coming into our home stands, right? Our home stadium, the turf started to go in this week, right?
Yeah. It looks like it's coming along pretty well too. They had at least 15 yards of it looked like turf, at least yesterday, and I'm assuming they got more in today. Before the rain.
I think Mark Music, the owner, posted the other day that looked like a majority of the field was covered at least.
Nice.
It might not have been solidly in, but that was good to see.
Once they have that foundation of the turf in, it'll all go in pretty quickly. Within the next couple days, we should be able to see the full field out there.
Oh, can't wait.
I know.
All right, Micah, we interrupted your cheers there.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a grittiness of the game. On the other side of it, my jeers, there's still a very low attacking output. 1 shot on goal, I think out of 7 attempts, I want to say. We just need to get a little bit more in that final area. But at the end of the day, winning is hard. And winning is winning. So however you can do it, especially at this level, is you're doing okay.
Yeah, winning's hard. Winning on the road is harder, right? And if you look at, maybe we'll get into it a little bit later, the stats, we had low offensive output, but it was felt a little bit intentional this week compared to 2 weeks ago against the Cosmos when we had 24 shots, I think, 20 attempts and 7 on frame or something like that. Now we go down to 7 attempts and the one goes in. Perfect. I think it was part of the game plan potentially that we'll talk a little bit more about. All right, cheers and jeers. Thanks, Micah. Dustin, how about you?
So my cheers is Wings Etc. Paul and I were at the watch party at Wings Etc. off of Illinois Road. They did an excellent job. I mean, I think we planned for, I think we had, when I first walked in, because I was one of the few that got there early, 4 or 5 tables reserved. We ended up taking up the whole section, and they just worked with it, let us take up some additional tables. They kept bringing people in and moving people around. The wait staff was amazing, and so I just really want to give them credit for that. It's not easy when you have some of us are a little crazy about our team and about Fort Wayne FC. So to allow us to be able to have everyone had a seat, all the kids had seats, and to get served food and drinks and everything on time and in a timely manner was pretty awesome. Because I didn't want to take the win away from Micah. Obviously, the win was a huge deal, but truthfully, they were excellent. We've been at a few different places, and I was very, very impressed with the management and the wait staff there. So wanted to shout them out.
Yeah, and shout out to the folks that have planned that. I know Three Rivers Regiment, Christina's been part of that. Garrett with the team and some of the front office staff have been part of that, planning those. And there's been, 4 of them now. The real question, Dustin, is when Taig Healy scored.
Yes, I think Paul threw this in there, correct? Didn't he?
Were people ready for it, number one? And did people jump out of their seats like I did at the first watch party and no one else did?
No, so people were looking, people were watching, because it had just kicked off.
Yeah.
So everyone was kind of engaged. Yes, they did. I thought you were trying to throw out that shade of Paul and I giving each other a high five, and it was the most awkward high five that there's ever been in the entire history, probably, of high fives.
I wasn't going to say it because I wasn't there, but tell us about it, Dustin.
Well, we went to give a high five, and it turned into a handshake, high five, and it was over Christina, who was standing right next to me, and I was just like, and so it kind of took away from the goal scoring situation for us for a second. But
was it one of those look around? Did anybody see that, or are they still watching TV?
No, I think it was more so in my head, what just happened? Did we give a high five, or did we shake hands to say hello for a second time?
Yeah, held hands for a second.
Was this supposed to happen?
Awkward than what it was.
Look,
the music starts playing.
Justin and Paul had a moment, guys.
I would love to know if Christina felt it underneath and we did our high five. She was completely oblivious to it. It was funny. When I read that from Paul today, I laughed so hard. I was like, I completely forgot about it because the rest of the game went on after that. We still had 90 minutes after that. So people were definitely engaged. They jumped up. It went awesome. Crazy. It was fun. It was really, really well attended. New people that we hadn't seen before, so it was a great time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And your jeers?
So my jeers was just, again, some passes that were just errant passes that got intercepted a couple times and gave us a little bit of a scare. We still struggle to connect our passes to each other a lot of times. It's a lot of just I don't know if the field played into this in any way, shape, or form as well. We've seen it in the last few games. It was a lot less this week, but I specifically remember one with Diaz when he just passed it back, and I think he was I don't know who he was. I can't remember who he was trying to get it to, and they took it right away. And luckily, it didn't turn into a goal scoring opportunity. But just little things like that I think as we play more, and we had 2 weeks off, right, between last game and this game. Yeah. I think it was maybe a little bit of some jitters, and I think as we get further into the season, we won't see that as much.
Yeah. There was one, I believe it was Javier Armas that passed the ball back. It looked like to a center back that was retreating instead of coming towards the ball, and that led to a potential opportunity for Chattanooga at that point. But I think it's a communication thing, and we talked about that a few weeks ago along that back line that seems to start to be getting sorted, but still some work to do back there. But hey, it was a shutout. It was our first game with no goals going in, and we'll take it. We'll take the dirty win in Chattanooga and walk away with our 3 points.
Yeah.
Speaking of the win, my cheers is Taig Healy's goal being up for goal of the week. So 46 seconds is all it took to get him into the game, to get him active and on the score sheet. So congrats to Taig. If you want to go vote for Taig, uslleague1.com. You can pop over there. It's one of the first articles you'll see. And go vote for Taig over there for goal of the week. Now, my jeers is also related to Taig Healy's goal. It has nothing to do with Taig Healy, but it has to do with the fact if you're watching live, you're going to see a graphic pop up here that Taig Healy plays for Fort Worth FC and not Fort Wayne FC. So, yeah, whoever's posting the goal of the week, voting for USL League One, there is, you can get out there, update that graphic. But that's not all, folks, because if you look at this graphic, we were so wrapped up in, hey, Taig plays for Fort Wayne, not Fort Worth. We missed the fact that the gentleman, it's so small on my screen, Meji, is that how you say that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That scored for Spokane Velocity is listed as playing for Charleston Battery down below. So they got not just the name, they got most of the letters right on ours anyway, on Taig Healy's, but Meji, Charleston Battery or Spokane, I don't know. Take your pick. Vote for goal of the week. That's my jeer of the week. And maybe that's a little harsh, but man, that's the league site. Like, get your teams right?
Well, and like he got Taig, which is not the easiest way to spell a name correct. Right. And Meji. Like, you get Meji and Taig, but you can't get the teams correct.
Yeah. So we're not, guys, I don't think we're making any friends tonight.
No.
In Chattanooga or with the league. So, oh man, let's get into our match recap. That's been cheers and jeers of the week. We'll come back next week and get to that. Before we get into the match recap, though, just want to invite, if you are in the chat, you're watching us live, you have questions, you want to participate in the conversation, please drop your notes, your questions in the comments. And later on in the show, we will be naming our Fort Wayne Footy Man of the Match. And if you have folks you'd like to nominate there, let us know who you think Man of the Match should be. Drop that in the comment as well. All right, let's get into the match recap. The Battle of Chattanooga, and that is what it was. Let's kick it off with our starting lineup. For Fort Wayne, we had Shipman in the goal, which I guess it was not a real surprise, but they did sign another goalkeeper this last week who traveled. Briscoe's still, I guess, nursing an injury. And so will it be Shipman? Will it be, was it Alex? I don't have the name off the top of my head. And I've been known to get names wrong too on this show. So I won't try too hard. So Shipman in goal, we had Rempel, Solis, Diaz, and Jordan across the back line. So a couple changes there. We've been playing a 3-back/5-back system with wing backs. This week shifted to a 4-back system that had JP Jordan pulled out of the midfield and playing on the right side, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. We started with Betcher, Armas, and Awudor in the central midfield, and then Oyetunde, Healy, and Thomas pushing on that front line there. And successful push on that front line in the first minute for sure. Healy takes it himself, intercepts a pass, beats the defender, and then beats the goalkeeper there early on in the game. So I just want to I don't often like to pat myself on the back, but I'm just going to say last week, my hot take was that Fort Wayne needs to switch to a 4-back system. Keep their defenders home. Let's sort this out. Let's figure it out. It's tough to play away from home. If we pull back the offense a little bit, let's shore up the back line. And they did that. So they probably listened to the show. They probably heard.
I'm sure that's what happened.
And said, that's a good idea, Brian. Let's try that. Probably not at all. But they did shift to that. And it was an interesting move. Partly because, Mike, I wanted to ask you, JP Jordan moves out of the midfield to the right back position. Now, it's according to the commentators, he's had a little bit of experience as a right back previously. But is more naturally a central defensive mid, which we saw him shift to when Fort Wayne intercepted the ball, change of possession, they start moving forward. He came out of that right back position to shift into a more defensive midfield 6 sort of role. Talk about that a little bit, what you saw in Jordan and what was being asked of him and the pros and cons of that.
Yeah, I think first thing, Fort Wayne had to establish possession to allow Jordan to travel into the midfield. So he would vacate that right back spot, which meant that they would almost shift Rempel centrally. So they still defended when they were organizing behind the attack with a 3-back system that allowed Jordan to step into the midfield. Now, with that being said, they almost conceded all the width in their build-up phase. So their only wide player was those wide forwards, which I think played into their game plan because they knew it was going to end up being a very gritty, direct game. So they said, like, we're not going to try to build out. We're going to try to keep our wingers high, have their starting position high, and play into them early, and not use our outside backs to get forward. Now, is this Rempel's best position where in the attack? I think he's really good going forward. I think he's been one of our better players, running the width, and we've seen that he's been able to handle it. So it almost hindered him a little bit. But at the end of the day, with Jordan pushing to the midfield, we then had 4 central midfielders against Chattanooga's 2. So we had a 4v2 in the middle. And I'll take those numbers all day. So tactically, I think it was a really good move with Coach Avery, just in the attack, pushing Jordan. But then once the ball was lost, you can see Jordan recovering back to the outside position and managing that space and managing that back line.
Is it tougher, like, again, playing a 5-back system where these outside backs have been playing as wing backs, and so they're getting high, they're getting forward, trying to get involved in the attack, sending balls in. There's a lot of running involved, so there's a lot of recovery involved. So the advantage of going to 4-back and then shifting your right back into the midfield, there's still some adjustment, right? There's still some recovery you got to do if you lose the ball in the midfield or you lose the ball up high to get back to that right back position. But it's not as much running to get back there. So maybe that's an advantage of this as well.
Yeah, it protects against a counter as well. So you always have the 3, and plus you have the extra numbers in the midfield that if the ball does get lost, you can always repress with the extra numbers and get that pressure immediately. So we're not getting countered. And it's a much easier recovery run for JP to drop, 10, 15 yards back into that right back spot, as opposed to making a 30-yard long busting run down to recover because Chattanooga just played a long ball in behind. So I think from a scouting standpoint, I think Coach Avery, Coach Barker, they did a really good job scouting Chattanooga and set the players up to be successful.
Yeah. Is that something you think we'll see more of, or do you think that was a one-off against a Chattanooga that likes to sit back and counter?
I think it'll be something that I think our base attacking is that 3 in the back or 5 in the back, 4 in the midfield, 1 up top, where Rempel is able to get up and down the line. Hernandez is able to get up and down. But I think we're also learning how to win. And I think this is a really good adjustment on Fort Wayne FC to understand what we're up against. And at times we have to be a little more maybe defensive, protect against the counter, and learn how to win. What impressed me about this game was that regardless of the foul count, regardless of what was happening, the boys stayed focused. And they continued they knew what they had to do. And okay, we took a foul, let's defend. We took a foul, okay, let's defend. So they knew their game plan, and I think that's a credit to the coaching staff, where they really instilled a belief in these kids that this is what we have to do to win the game. And you could see they were going to run through a wall to win this game. And look at where we were 3 weeks ago against, what was it, Sarasota or no?
New York
Cosmos,
where we conceded the 2 goals.
Yeah.
After going up, 2-0 early. You could see them collectively say, hey, this is not happening again. We will do whatever it takes. We're going to win. It might be ugly, but we're going to win.
Yeah. Dustin, you had mentioned, I think you had mentioned earlier in the show, just about the lack of offensive output, or maybe Micah did that too, but things just not clicking up there quite yet. I think this formation lends itself to less offensive output, right? And more defensive pressure to keep a team like Chattanooga away from the goal. So from what you saw there, watching at the watch party, the conversations, maybe, what did you see in the offense that gave you some, some hope going forward? It's a new formation. Like, What does this look like? How do these guys work better this way than the other way? Or what do you like to see going forward?
I think starting out the way that we did with Taig, taking the ball right away, and that showed that we have the potential and the ability to score goals. 45 seconds in, they pressured it right away. So I think that was the positive. The unfortunate thing is I felt like we played a lot towards the end of the game, and I think probably because we pulled back to kind of keep the win, but towards the end of the game, the last 25 extra minutes that they put on at the watch party, everyone was like up on their chairs, like freaking out.
Was it like 9 minutes of 6 minutes that were announced?
It was the longest.
Yeah.
It was the longest extra time I think that there's ever been in the history of soccer. for what we, but no, it was. I feel like we have the players there. I think again, scoring the goal that we scored so quickly, I don't know if we got into a position where we were just like, let's keep this. It wasn't 2-0, which we've talked about is the worst. Like I was honestly like, please don't score a second goal, because then we're in a predicament of, are we going to lose?
Right.
But like, I don't know if that played a role in relationship to it. I think we have the guys that are there. I think every game just is it's a different match. It's a different opponent. It's a different way in which we play. And so I saw a lot of offense against New York Cosmos. We saw a lot of scores. Like you said, 27, 20 some shots.
I think, 20 something shots.
So we saw it there. We know we have it. I think that it was just a different game plan this week. And I think going up, I'd like to hope that they planned on scoring within 45 seconds. I don't know that was the plan.
Don't you always?
Yeah. But I think that they realized that they went up, that they were going to play their game, and they were going to kind of sit back, and they didn't necessarily have to have a second goal in that game. And so I don't know. I think every game is going to be different. I think you're going to see a different team every single time and a different way that we play every single time. But we have the offensive power that we can do it. It's just we just didn't necessarily need it in this game.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So how much do you guys think that it was that they came in thinking we want to get a point? I'm probably a little bit naive as a coach, where I step on the field and I very rarely do I go and be like, okay, we're going to play for a tie today.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and that's probably
and we've heard Coach Avery say that. I want to win. Yeah. I want to win. Right.
So how much of it did they say that we're going to go in, we're going to manage the space, we're going to take our knocks, and we're going to come out of here with a point. If we can nick a goal early, or if we can nick a goal late, like that's going to put us in the best position to be successful. I don't have that answer. I don't know if that was.
I think it was very intentional. If you want to come out with another point on the road, I think they didn't want to lose. Right. To come away with another point on the road is a success in a 4-game stretch. As a brand new team. I was counting on a point. I was counting on a 1-1 draw in this game. But I do think the game plan was very intentional, right? If we look at the game against the New York Cosmos 2 weeks ago, Fort Wayne had 72% possession in that game and lost 2-0 because Cosmos sat back, let Fort Wayne take the ball, let Fort Wayne have possession, probably got more shots than New York Cosmos planned on us taking, but they didn't go in, right? And then they countered us, and I think they had 4 shots on goal, and 2 of them went in. And so that's the kind of team that New York Cosmos were. This match, Chattanooga is a team that sits back, they park the bus, and they counter. I've heard that from everybody I've talked to about Chattanooga's style of play. It's rough, it's physical, it's aggressive. It's a defensive game, and they're going to counter. Fort Wayne went in with a game plan that said, we're going to let you have possession and see what you do with it. You're not used to it, right? We're going to be the team. We'll sit back. We're going to put 4 guys on our back line, not 3. We're going to hold in the back as much as we can, and we're going to be the team that takes our chances going forward. Now, if Taig doesn't score that goal in 45 seconds, I don't know how that changes the game, but it changes the game. And I said that against New York too. We've got Anthony Anzini in the chat right now. If we're tooting horns, I said, let's see what it looks like after finishing one of these early chances, right? We talked about that after the New York game. If Jack Thomas scores one of those first 3 shots he has in the first 15 minutes of the match or whatever, New York changes their game plan because now they're going to have to chase a goal. And it opens up their back line. Fort Wayne went in this time, I think, against Chattanooga and said, you want to sit back? We're going to sit back, and we're going to see what you do. You're going to try and counter us, but we're not going forward. You can't counter a team that's not going forward. And so Red Wolves come away with 53% possession. Fort Wayne has 47% possession, and we see how it turns out. I do think the early goal made a difference in the game plan, but I also think it was a game plan specifically for Chattanooga that Coach Avery and Coach Barker put together. And oh, by the way, Coach Avery was not on the sideline in this match. Barker was coaching, that's an interesting stat, right? Your assistant coach gets the first win in club history.
Do you think you'll let Coach Avery forget that?
Oh, I don't know. I think they've got a good relationship. I'm not like throwing shade at anybody on this one, but there was apparently a red card. Avery apparently got a red card against Cosmos. That was what was announced. He missed the game because he was serving a 1-game suspension. Don't know when it happened. Don't know why it happened. I'm assuming it was something post-match, but I don't know. I can't confirm that. I just know he wasn't on the sideline. And so, Coach Barker comes away with a victory that I'm certain Coach Avery had a hand in game planning.
Oh, 1,000,000%. I was just gonna say that. It's not like he was not there on the sideline, but he was there in relationship to the plan as far as what the attacking was gonna be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A couple players that jumped out to you guys. Anybody in particular stand out before we get to our man of the match?
I thought,
and if you have man of the match and you're listening, drop it in the comments. We'd love to see what you think.
I thought Solis played so much better with the two center backs as opposed to the 3. He looked a lot more comfortable. He was winning balls in the air. I thought he had a great game.
Yeah. He was actually the highest rated player on FOTMob. We've referenced FOTMob a little bit. That tracks all the stats of all the games and everything. He was the highest rated player, not just for Fort Wayne FC, but highest rated player on the pitch with an 8.2 FOTMob rating. So congrats to him. I did think with a 4-back system, with a 5-back, sometimes you can get away with your center back playing a little higher because you've got 2 to tuck in if your wing backs come back. In a 4-back, I felt like there were times he still played a little higher than I would have liked him to. I'm not the coach. I'm just observing. I'm a fan. But he played well. He played great. Kudos to Solis. Dustin, any players stand out to you?
So I thought when Abby came in, I thought he made a little bit of an impact. It changed the attack a little bit more. I felt like when he came in, the attack got a little bit for maybe 5-10 minutes. You could just tell there was a difference in relationship to that. And he, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, came in for Owador when he got hurt the second time and had to go out. Is that correct?
I think that still in the first half. I think it was.
It was
33rd minute.
Yeah.
Like that.
Which I thought Owador was playing as really well as well prior to that, but then he just 2 hits pretty hardcore to the ankle that took him out. I felt like that position, both between Abby and him, that they played really well throughout the entire game. But I mean, I had seen Ian like play before, but not as much as what he did in this game, and I was super impressed with him.
Yeah, for sure. We got a couple shouts here, and I was going to mention this one as well with JP Jordan getting a shout out from Todd as man of the match. New position, locked down his side of the field. He did get into the attack, big contribution to his first clean sheet. Absolutely. A guy that was something new was being asked of him, and he just puts his head down and does it to be on the field and to contribute and play the way he did. I think JP Jordan played great, and I can't take anything away from him. So we get into our man of the match, right? Each week we have the Fort Wayne Footy man of the match. The man of the match will receive a Fort Wayne Footy man of the match coin. You can see a mock-up of it on the screen if you're watching live. We got the coin right here. We're going to pass these out to our winners of the first couple matches this Wednesday night, which we'll talk about in a minute. This week's man of the match award, Fort Wayne Footy, goes to none other than the goal scorer, Taig Healy. Not just for scoring the game-winning goal, but he was creative. He
Mhm.
was making passes he was breaking lines, one-time passes that on a pitch that we can only imagine what it was like to play on it. It didn't look pretty from our vantage point. And he's putting passes on a dime with one-touch balls. So congrats to Taig Healy for being this week's man of the match.
Yep.
Guys, we are going to take a short break, thank our sponsors for the second half of the show, and we will be right back.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Dead One Pest Control. If you've been looking for a local pest control service in Fort Wayne and surrounding communities, look no further than Dead One Pest Control. They work with both residential and commercial clients to get rid of all types of pests, including those dreaded bed bugs. No job is too big or small for them to handle, so you can count on their capable crew for whatever local pest control service you need. Reach out today to schedule an appointment at deadonepestcontrol.com. And remember, the only good pest is a dead one. And if you're looking for tree service of any kind, including removal, trimming, stump grinding, or landscaping, check out R&T Tree Experts. They work year-round, even through these cold winter months, so you don't have to wait for spring. Just visit their website, fill out their estimate request form, and be sure to tell them Fort Wayne Footy sent you to receive 10% off your service.
All right, we are back. Second half of the show. We've got a lot to talk about yet in tonight's episode. I do want to just invite you, if you are listening live, watching live, listening later in the week, if you're enjoying the show, we have a simple way that you can help us keep this thing going, and that's to join the Footy Faithful on Patreon. From the 260 soccer show that debuted last night to everything we do here on Fort Wayne Footy, that support from Patreon goes to fuel everything that we do to help us bring you better stories, deeper coverage, and shine more of a spotlight on the players, the coaches, and the communities that make soccer thrive right here in Fort Wayne. We have membership options that range from free to just join, check it out, get your foot in the door, to $2 a month, gets you an invitation and a shout out here on the show, which we will get to in a moment. $5 per month gets you access to our Discord, which was a ton of fun conversation this last week after the first win. And $10 a month, you're part of the squad. Our core supporters helping drive the mission forward, and you get early access to additional content. Every dollar, as we said, helps celebrate the game and elevate the conversation around soccer at every level in our city. So if you believe in what we're building, join the Footy Faithful today on Patreon. Just look for us at Fort Wayne Footy. All right. We do have a new Patreon member. Jess Sharp joined us last week after the show at, I believe, the $5 a month membership. Thank you, Jess, for your support. Joining Christina Copeland, Ryan Smeltzer, the Snyder family, and Jason Hemsoth as paid members of the Fort Wayne, the Footy Faithful over there. And so thank you for your support. We would just love to invite anybody else who is interested over there. We've got some good content, and we'll keep putting out more content now that the 260 Soccer Show is off and running. There's so much more to talk about. We are looking for additional people to add to our team. We've got 2 podcasts running. We've got photographers that have been to several Fort Wayne FC events, and they will be pitch side taking game photography once we get home. But we are looking for some additional writers to join the team to put out some additional content on our website and on social media. If you're interested, hit us up at info@Fort Wayne Footy, and we would love to have a conversation with you about that. A few announcements quickly. The 260 Soccer Show, as we mentioned, debuted last night. They're in our old time slot on Sundays at 9 p.m. Mentioned their names several times already on the show tonight. Amanda, Todd, and Paul taking over that show. And I'll tell you what, I don't want to spoil any of their secrets and any of their plans, but they've got a pretty big guest coming on next week, actually, that was on the field. On the field, guys, in Miami. In the brand new stadium with Messi. So I'll just leave it at that, and you can join them. Follow us on socials. Fort Wayne Footy 260 Soccer Show is going to be rolled in with our Fort Wayne Footy social media. and you'll be seeing some more announcements about that. And then again, we're here on Monday nights, and this is our new time slot moving forward, 9:00 on Mondays, and hope to get some team personnel on the show that they can't make on Sundays, but hopefully on Mondays we'll have better opportunity to do that moving forward. All right, let's get back into, we've recapped the game a little bit. Let's talk about, kind of zoom out a little bit, right? And talk about the importance of this win, right? This wasn't just a win. It was the first win, and it was a win on the road, right? So 5 road matches to start the season. 4 of them we've played. Those are league matches. There's another road game coming up in the USL Cup in 2 weeks in Louisville on April 25th, which if we have time, we'll get into later in the show. But the difficulty of playing on the road in any league is much higher than the difficulty of winning on your home turf, right? Fort Wayne, let's put this in perspective a little bit. Fort Wayne FC. 4 guys have played here before. 4 of them know the fans. No one else on this team, other than the supporter, the season ticket holder event at the away kit reveal, and maybe a sprinkling of things here and there. This team doesn't know the fan base here, right? And they don't know the support that they have cheering them on at the watch parties. They don't know the support that's going to be in the stadium. So it's tough, right? Brand new team, 5 matches on the road. I went through the schedule this week, right? The home team, of all the games in USL League One, the home team has won 18 times, right? We haven't had a home game. We're not even on that category. The away team has won 10 matches, and the other 10 matches were all draws, okay? Of that, 10 wins, right, in total, that from away teams have won 10 matches. Only 2 of those have been expansion teams. AC Boise won away, and now Fort Wayne FC has won away. Playing away from home is incredibly difficult. Now, the importance of that win, it's difficult to do. Bringing home 4 points on the road, from the road, in your first 4 games, how does that set them up, Micah or Dustin, for this season moving forward, knowing that now there's 4 road games that other teams have to play that we're going to play at home the next round?
Yeah, I think this is setting us up to do really well once we get into home. And I'd love for you guys to correct me, but I want to say we almost have 8,000 tickets sold for the home opener. I hope someone out there can validate that. I think I read that somewhere, but you look at the stands of Chattanooga, you look at the stands of Sarasota, maybe 1,000 people, right? If we get 8,000 people out for that first game, think of the message that we're going to send to the rest of the league. So, yeah, I sincerely hope that I am correct, and I hope someone out there can validate me. But once we get into a homestand and we have our fans, and it's not only that, but the players can get into the rhythm. They're home, they're with their families, right? They have their normal cadence of, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to have my meal at this time, as opposed to the travel where, okay, I'm in an airport for 2 hours, I'm on a plane for another 3 hours. I have to sneak a meal at some point. I have to get my stretching in. I have it's you lose valuable time. Whereas you're at home, you can go back to your normal schedule. Okay, we usually have training at 9 o'clock. I'm going to get a light workout in now, then I'll get my meal in at the normal time, then I'll get to the stadium at there's a rhythm that you can build when you're at home. And I think that that's going to play into our success the rest of the season.
I think you look at just this last game in Chattanooga, where there was very few fans in the stadium, and some of those were some of our own fans because Ryan was there.
Right.
And so you look at that, and then you think about the fact that if we have 9,000 fans that are there for our home opener, just the atmosphere is completely different. And we win in a stadium where there's nothing, there's really not very many fans whatsoever, and away, and then we come home to an 8,000, 9,000 stadium full of people supporting you. That changes your adrenaline, that changes your play. I think it sets us up for some really fun games moving forward. And I think, coming home with 4 points, as opposed to it could have been 0. We could have not won one game. We could have gotten beaten every single game that we played away as our first time as a professional team. And we're coming home with 4 points. I think you got to chalk that up as a win. You've got to chalk that up as a positive. Again, we beat Chattanooga, who was number 2 in the league last year, away at Chattanooga. That's huge. That more than anything says, hey, guess what? We're not to be joked with. Yeah, maybe we struggled at the first couple games, but we're a legit team and we deserve to be here. And now you get to see us in our home stadium, and good luck.
Yeah. Again, the importance of an away win is huge. A lot of times, the people say you win at home, get 3 points at home, and eke out a point on the road, and you'll have a successful season. And again, Fort Wayne has lost 2 games on the road, but they drew with Sarasota and they beat Chattanooga. 2 tough teams. Sarasota's proven themselves to be a tough team. I think they lost this last week, but they're proving themselves to be a tough team as well. So to nab 4 points on the road in these first 4 games is pretty huge. Now they do have, and again, they're coming home regardless of what happens in Louisville. They're coming home having won their last league match. Their next game is in Louisville. It's part of the Prince Tires USL Cup. So it has no impact and no bearing on league standings. But sure, it's a fun game that they're going to go into. Louisville's top of the table right now. I think last week they were second. Louisville's top of the table in USL Championship. They are the team to beat. And they have, I think from last week, they had 5 games on their schedule. We were their 5th game in the last 2 weeks. So they've got a jam-packed schedule. We may see rotation. A lot of times players or, the upper teams will sit some of their starters and rest them in these games. So who knows what's going to be thrown at us in the next week against Louisville. But here's the other thing about Louisville is we've heard this on the podcast that Lynn Stadium in Louisville is the prototype for Ruoff Mortgage Stadium here in Fort Wayne. So these guys are going to get a chance to play in the stadium that resembles the exact stadium that they're going to be playing in. Now it's a little bit bigger. They're in a higher league. I think they have 5 or 6,000 more seats than Ruoff Mortgage Stadium here in Fort Wayne does. But it's a beautiful stadium. I've heard nothing but good things about their stadium, even from people who hate traveling to Louisville to watch games. Love their stadium. So I'm excited for the guys just to be able to get a sense to walk in there and to look up and go, we're away, but this is what it's going to be like to play in our stadium. To give them, I don't know if that was intentional, but man, that's pretty cool to get that sense before you get home.
Yeah, I think there's also a lot of parity in USL League One where no single team is going to run away with the league, right? Everyone's going to be within a couple points of each other. So if you can stay within a shout of that top team, I think it sets you up really well for playoffs and advancing. And I think I saw something in the chat where we're like only 2 points out of playoffs, right? Like we're within a shout and we haven't had a home game yet. So I think that says a lot that we're in a really good spot right now.
Yeah. And I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, guys, but like we've on the one hand say it's early, right? There's still a long way to go. So I'm not getting my hopes up now that like we're only 2 points out of play. It's still early, right?
Yeah.
It's still early. And so that can go both ways, right?
Yeah. I did FYI just see Mark Music did just post update on the stadium just 2 minutes ago on Facebook.
Listening to us.
And so he said first seats will go in starting Wednesday, and they can do 800 a day. And almost all the field is in, and then Saturday they're going to start the lights, or Friday, starting the lights
Can't
for the
wait.
stadium. It'll be 12 days of lights, but it will be down to the wire and ready to go by the time that we
awesome.
play in that stadium.
That's
so
awesome.
Cannot
I don't know.
wait.
I just read that, and that got me really jacked about the fact that
Yeah.
we're almost there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody bring your flashlights just in case.
Yeah.
Right? Flashlights on your phone, wave them,
Yeah.
let's light the
Yeah.
no, super excited to see that. I cannot wait there. I was just looking up the standings here in USL League One, just to see kind of where we're at, right? We're sitting 13th in the league right now out of 17, but we were 17 last week, right? So that win, we jumped four spots. And FC Naples has played 6 matches. Fort Wayne's played 4. Naples and Spokane, that are sitting atop the league, have played 6 matches. We're still 2 matches behind them, in 2 matches in hand. So you get a draw, you get a win in either of those 2 matches, we're right up near the top potentially. Again, it's early. I'm not getting my hopes up that we're going to finish there, but I think there's a lot of potential to do so. There was a question in here in the chat from Road Bike, and we've kind of segued a little bit already. Thoughts on Louisville match coming up in 2 weeks. So they got 2 more weeks to prepare, 2 more weeks to think about it. And again, Louisville sitting top of the table in USL Championship right now.
Yeah.
Any thoughts going in? How does Fort Wayne prepare for a match like that in the USL Cup?
Yeah, I think a lot of it will depend on how Louisville sets up too, right? You mentioned their match congestion. Are they going to rest some of their top players so they can focus on league, or is the USL Cup something that they have their targets on as well? So I think a lot of it depends on Louisville, but I also think Coach Avery is learning USL 1 and learning what it takes to win. So I would almost assume that we're going to see similar tactics that we saw against Chattanooga. I think it was very intentional, especially going into this more difficult match with Louisville. So, yeah, I'm expecting to have another really hard fought defensive game where we're going to concede a little bit of the field, look to counter, and if we can nick a goal, we'll get that goal and we'll protect the lead.
I'd like to see them show up and show off against Louisville. I mean, again, we're a USL 1 team coming into play against the big dog in the championship, top of the league. And so I'd like to see them not go in and be like, oh, this is just a fun game. Let's like play around with some stuff. I'd love to see them continue to do what they've been doing, and continue to improve in relationship to that, and to show up and actually play decent against the team, against a really good team in Louisville.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time believing Avery is just gonna be like, hey guys, this is just a fun game. Like, let's just go in and goof around. I think he's gonna stay like what Micah said. Like, he's gonna continue with what he's been doing so far. And I just would really like to see them just kind of at least stay with them and show that they're not, just a pleb team that's in USL 1, first time, never playing professionally, and they get beat 5-0, something like that. If it's a 1-0, a 1-1, some sort of close game, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So looking at Louisville's stat lines here, right? They're 4-1-1, sitting, I think they're sitting second in the table, even on points, but there's a game in hand. So they played 6. Tampa Bay, I think, has played 5, right? 6 matches. They have 13 goals, guys. That's a lot of scoring by that team. So Fort Wayne is definitely going to be tested.
Yeah.
Backline is going to be tested now. Again, have not seen Lou City play yet. I don't know if they're a sit back and wait and counter team, or if they're a team that just, pushes it down your throat all game long, like we tried to do early this season. And I think we have the capability of doing that. So we talked a little bit last week with Sean and Anthony about this game going into the Cup, right? You're still trying to figure things out. Micah, you said the team and Avery himself is learning USL League One. Do you go for it? Like, Mike, you've already spoken to this a little bit, maybe like learn your style, settle in, whatever. But I kind of want to see them push and see if they can get a smash and grab win down there in Louisville and see what happens, right? Give the team some confidence going in and go, hey, if we lose, we lose. It doesn't matter. It's USL Cup. No one's expecting us to do anything anyway. We've got nothing to lose. Let's go for it. That's the team I'd like to see next weekend or 2 weekends from now.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I've never stepped on a field and said, "Oh, I'm today," right?
Yeah,
like all those athletes out there are competitors, and I am confident that they're like me, where they hate losing more than they love winning. So they're going to go for it, and they're going to run through a wall for each other and for the city.
Yeah. Sean says, advice for Louisville match, engage Jose Mourinho tactics. Heading in there. Good one there. If we score in the first 43 seconds, easy tactics, right? Yeah. Put a team on their heels. Let's do it again, Taig. Yep. All right. We have 3 goals, guys, and 3 goal scorers, by the way. So we're sharing the love there. Louisville are typically the best team at the end of the regular season. Playoffs are a different story. So, so let's see what we can do here. They're playing well. They're on a hot streak right now. Let's see what we can do moving into their place in 2 weeks here in Louisville. Quick scores from around the league for those of you who follow USL League One and see kind of what's happening around the league. Spokane wins against AV Alta earlier the week. Westchester SC beat Sarasota 2-0. Omaha beats Forward Madison 1-0. Portland Hearts of Pine up in Sean's neck of the woods drew with 1 Knox, who was the winners last year, in the cup. Chattanooga Red Wolves obviously took an L to our Fort Wayne FC. Naples with another 2-0 win in the Battle of Paradise against Sarasota down there in Florida. Spokane with another 3-1 win later in the week against Richmond. And then AC Boise traveled to AV Alta there in California for a 2-2 draw. There hasn't been many of those, by the way, by expansion teams, draws on the road either. So AC Boise is putting their mark on the league, I think, early this season. There is an event coming up, by the way, guys, that we've all been waiting for. We've seen one kit, and we've seen it 4 times now. That away kit. There's going to be a home kit revealed this week, Wednesday night, and some of us are going to be there, and I'm excited to see it. So we talked early in the year about the kits, what we hope to see, what we expect to see. We've seen the away kits. What are you expecting? What are you anticipating in these home kits this week?
Oh man, I'm so used to seeing them in the gold that I don't know what a white jersey would look like. Man,
you think it's going to be white?
I would think so, right? Like,
I don't know.
No, Chattanooga, their home were red and black.
I don't know. It's typically, I think you wear your dark uniforms at home and your lighter kits away. I don't know. We'll see.
What about a black kit?
I would love a black kit.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a black kit with gold like lettering, or maybe what we've seen on some other things, like maybe some honeycomb texturing on that. That's I've not seen it, so nobody out
obviously
there
none of
me
us
to it. Don't hold me to it, but I'm
holding you to it. If it doesn't have a honeycomb pattern, I'm not buying it because Dustin said it did.
You know what? That's on you. You go for it. You don't buy it. But that's there's got to be some sort of thing with the honeycomb, that texture pattern or that whatever, because it's been in their promotional materials. It's been on other things that I've seen from people that have in the know.
But listen, they're sneaky like that, though.
I know,
if you remember the rebrand, right?
I know.
They were blue and white with a little bit of red, and all their social media shifted to more and more red. And we were like, we're getting a red kit, a red nope, it's black and gold. So
yeah,
we'll see. I'm hoping for a black kit. I love a black kit.
I do too.
I wear a lot of black. You guys obviously wear a lot of black. I got a gift card for Christmas to the Fort Wayne FC merch store, and I will have that with me.
Not if it's honeycomb though.
Wednesday night. If it's not honeycomb, I'm not wasting my money. Just no. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a sweet looking black kit. The away kits are nice, but I think the away kits told me they're putting their time, energy, and design into the home kits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is what that told me. So I don't know that, but that's what I'm hoping. So we will see what happens. Paul in the chat says black with Micah's wallpaper pattern.
There you go.
I have a story about this wallpaper, but I'll share it at a different time.
Awesome. All right, guys. As we wrap up the show, it's getting near the top of the hour here. Final thoughts to wrap up episode 50. Episode 50. And episode 50 is not even going to air on Facebook because somehow we lost connection right before the show. It was set up. It was ready to go. So, we're going to be down on viewers because half our viewers couldn't join us tonight unless they were smart enough to bump over here to YouTube. So
I haven't seen
episode
Christina
50
in the chat, so
I know.
I think Christina might be one of those.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It is streaming on mine. So if she's friends with me, so she could have gotten it from there, but
so she's just ignoring us tonight.
Maybe
whatever. All right,
maybe
she
has a life.
We see how it is.
Unlike us.
I think final thoughts. I'm hearing the update on the stadium, hearing and getting the excitement in relationship to that. The fact that we're 3 weeks away from home, from our home opener.
May 2nd. Yep.
Yeah, 3 weeks away from our home opener, knowing that this dream that has been like this stadium coming to Fort Wayne for a professional team is coming together. While it might not be all wrapped up and completely finished by the time that it starts, the fact that we will have a turf field, stadium seats to sit in, and be able to watch our team play at home. I could not be more excited in relationship to that. So we've been all on the edge of our seats as to whether or not it's going to come together. And now we know that it's in the plans and in the works to actually come together by the time that it starts. And I'm extremely, extremely excited about that.
Yeah. My thoughts are with 1927 right now. I haven't talked to it a lot with you guys, or even a lot on the show, but I did take over as the coach this year. Had open tryouts this week. Look out on our socials, search 1927 on Instagram for our schedule. Matches, we have about 3 weeks until our first matches. Have some preseason matches this weekend at PFW. So preparations are underway. It should be a really, really good season with the boys this year.
That's awesome. And yeah, Micah, I apologize for not even mentioning that top of the show, but had your first match yesterday. That was earlier this week, right?
Yep.
Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's Monday now, isn't it? Had your first match on Saturday in the Amateur Cup, right?
Yeah, U.S. Amateur Cup, played Goshen City, which, how I understand it, they're always one of the better teams in the league. I think they won it last year. They scored early, so we went down 1-0 within the first 10 minutes. Switched our formation a little bit, switched players around. I'm still getting to know them. To be fair, I'm still learning names, learning tendencies. So I made some changes throughout the game, put us in a much better position, hit a couple posts, but we couldn't convert that one goal that we needed. So we did end up losing 1-0. So we are out of the competition, but I learned so much about the boys, learned so much about the program. So looking forward to building on that.
Yeah, very good. And we'll certainly talk 1927 on this show when you're on, Micah, but I do know there happens to be another show that just started yesterday called the 260 Soccer Show that I know wants to have you as a guest on their show to talk about.
Look at you from host to guest.
I know.
Right? That's huge.
Yep. Yeah. So my final thoughts, I've kind of already alluded to it a little bit, is just get ready to drop some cash on the home kits very soon. I am excited about what I hope to see in those, and I'm ready. If it's a black kit, I'm ready. I don't care what it looks like, honeycombs or not honeycombs. I'm ready for one of my teams that I support to have a black kit, and it hasn't happened for a long time. So I'm getting ready for that. Hopefully it is. Maybe it's white. We'll see. But that'll be on display on May 2nd when the boys take the field at Ruoff Mortgage Stadium, and we'll get to see it. Season ticket holders and media personnel will get to see it later this week. We do have one question in the chat here that I wanted to get to before we close out. Is there a Fort Wayne Footy meetup May 2nd? Matt, that is a great question. And the answer right now is uncertain. Would love to do something. We were actually talking to some other USL podcasters and just nationally known podcasters that will be in town because of the grand opening of the new stadium. And we were talking about doing a meetup with them. We're still in talks right now to see if there's a possibility of doing a live show the night before even. And so stay tuned for news. It's getting down to the wire. But just to let you in a little peek behind the scenes of what we've been talking about there. And again, no promises. There's no plans set in place. But if we can pull something off, we would love to pull something off. And we will let you know as quickly as we possibly can. If you're listening and have some news to report here on Fort Wayne Footy or on the 260 Soccer Show, let us know. Reach out to us at info@fortwaynefooty.com. Leave us a message on any of our socials. Comment here on the show on YouTube or Facebook when it works. And that'll do it. That's full time for this episode of Fort Wayne Footy.